Hey, how you doing, guys? Michael here. I want to make this video here to kind of explain some of the things that I've been seeing in the modeling here lately, and I want to start with the European model here, and I want to jump to the, if this thing will let me, jump to the 500 millibar pattern here. It's about 18,000 feet off the ground. I want to kind of pull forth here to about the 11th to 14th time frame. Here, of course, we're in a trough right now here in the east. That's why we've been very chilly. Even had some frost this morning. But look out here, you see a ridge coming out to the west. And as we move forward, this ridging does eventually push on in here and give us some warmer temperatures for the weekend. But look at these jet dynamics coming in from the west. Big Pacific train of moisture. And as you can see, we still kind of have kind of originals, but it gets kind of flattened a little bit. It goes more to a kind of a semi-zonal thing. And look at these dynamics north of us here. It's pretty strong dynamics at that level of the atmosphere. And then we keep going and pay mind out to the west there again. There we go. And as you can see, another big trough digs up in here. And the question is, what's it going to do? What does all this mean? Well, at this point in time, as we go forward here, as you can see, trough goes through, another trough goes through, and that look right there would precede milder temps and then some more typical November colder temps. And if you go down to the surface and look at it, now, mind you, this is on a synoptic model. This is way out. There's no way to verify this at this point in time. It's just way too early. But just for grins and giggles, here's what it shows. And the Euro has been kind of bouncing back and forth between solutions. Now, earlier it showed a blizzard, practically, in the northern plains with a severe weather look on the warm side of it. Well, now as we look here, not quite as strong as it was showing earlier. Does show potentially significant snowmaker into southern Canada and the far northern Mississippi Valley, and what appears to be kind of like some severe weather or a squall line or that type of thing, or just a strong cold front coming through. But we really don't know at this point in time because this is way too far in advance to know exact. And we've had model inconsistencies when compared to other synoptic models. In other words, GFS is what we're talking about. Let's look at the same thing here on this model and this set of runs. Well, here we go. This is also different. As you can see here, this has a low further to the south. Does kind of show, again, kind of a severe weather look there coming into Ohio, Great Lakes, even the Mississippi Valley, lower central Mississippi Valley area, and then kind of a snowstorm up in the UP, Michigan, into southern Canada and the like. And then it actually wants to form another low, and even that has some severe weather on the southern end of it. But look at there in Illinois, another wintry type storm maker with pretty cold air behind it. Even snow into Indiana and Ohio potentially was something of that nature. We look at that at 500 millibars once again on this run with this model, and you're going to see kind of a different look compared to what we saw with the Euro. A little more amplified, much stronger storm system. But the fact of the matter is you have two synoptic models. Synoptic models look at everything overall from the weather maps to the jet stream and everything, and they're inconsistent. It's when they have consistency that your eyebrow comes up. These are our operational model type thing. There's no real solid consistency here, mainly because it's so far out. And the pre-storm atmosphere, or the pre-trough, pre-weather atmosphere, so to speak, because this is all based on the data that we sample from the atmosphere at this point in time. Still got a lot of time left before this even comes to play. I mean, we're not talking about this weekend. We're talking about next weekend, and late next week into early next week. So sometimes what we do is we look at we take a look kind of at a blend we look at what we call ensembles, and we kind of take a look at those to see what those show, because that takes all the members of this particular month. This is a GFS, which is the ensemble for the GFS, and this gives us a little bit better picture of what we can see overall. Now you can see here, there's the ridge. Here comes kind of that strong disturbance again. Doesn't look as strong on here, a little wider, but you can see kind of that semi-zonal flow, and there's a high over the Gulf there, right down there. See that high down there? And everything kind of rides over top of it before, what did I just do? Something I didn't want to do. There we go. Before we have overall a trough that comes in. It's Midwest, Ohio Valley, Great Lakes, that type of thing. And it's pretty consistent. And actually, you see pretty deep trough, as a matter of fact, coming into the eastern two-thirds of the country before things kind of flatten out again and the modeling becomes more muddled. So we see that. So let's also take a look at what another set of ensembles shows. This is a European. And it's a little bit different. Looks a little different here. But we can see here comes that ridge. Oh, man, this thing is acting funny. Here comes that ridge that we were talking about. Ridge over the Gulf in the southern states. And then as we go forward, ridge kind of gets knocked down, and then it also shows troughing coming into the central portion of the state, country, and then moving on into the Great Lakes. So here's what we do know. We do know that potentially a storm, or even a series of storms, could be possible for the eastern two-thirds of the country by the end of next week into early next weekend. Details, who's going to get what type of weather, we do not know. It's too many details to iron out. Too many things will change with every single run, as we've seen with the mass amount of inconsistencies, which is not unusual. And of course, a lot of this stuff is also based on the smaller scale and mesoscale stuff, which at this point in time, you just don't know. What we do know is that warmer temps are going to be coming with the ridging coming over us into the eastern two-thirds of the country here. And we're also going to see kind of a fast flow from west to east for a bit for this upcoming week. And then the trough amplifies and we start getting this more of a stormy look coming into the latter half of the end of next week into next weekend. And with the trough coming down, kind of like as you see here, overall, some more November-like temperatures are probably in the offering. So that's the way it is right now. Hopefully I answered any questions that anybody had. And we'll talk to you later.